Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, he teaches us this famous verse that he reciprocates with the feeling of his devotees. This is why there exist different devotees with different feelings. And in this case, Krishna, he uses Bhishma, Dev, to glorify his most intimate associates. And he says to Bhishma, Arjuna, he has a lot of love for me. He's very close to me. It is explained that even Krishna, he falls asleep embracing Arjuna's feet. So he said, I have a lot of love for him. This is why his position is that I am his car driver. You cannot have this. It is only reserved to Arjuna. But Bhishma, he says, but there's more elevated than Arjuna. Because Arjuna, he embraces your feet. You consider him your friend. That's true. It is true. But there are persons for whom you can abandon everything, even to not exist anymore. These are the gopis of Braj. It is explained that if there is a small wind, favorable wind, inspired by the power of the pastime potency of the Lord, who touches the lotus body of Srimati Radharani, who is very fragrant, and that breeze takes that perfume to Krishna. Krishna feels he is the most fortunate. He feels he has attained the highest fortune. These are the gopis. And this is why Vrindavan in particular, because Vrindavan is where Krishna, he reveals his greatest secret. His secret is hidden. With Arjuna, there's a little bit of secret, because the Bhagavad Gita can be understood at different levels. But the highest understanding of Bhagavad Gita is that Krishna glorifies the gopis in the Bhagavad Gita. So Vishwanath, he starts by explaining this in this verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, that the true significance of the Bhagavad Gita is that Krishna, he glorifies the gopis. And this is impossible to understand if we're not an intimate associate of the Lord. It is impossible. This is why Bhishma is no ordinary being, because he's able to perceive something nobody can perceive. In truth, Lord, if you say that, it's to glorify the gopis. It is interesting, no? There's a small parenthesis that says that in the commentary. So this is what is wonderful. It's that in devotional service, there's no envy. Although they are special associates of the Lord, there's no envy. Because we like to walk in the steps of people who have more devotion than ourselves. Because what is interesting to us, to Vaishnavas, is that Krishna is satisfied. If someone has more devotion than me, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the 8th verse of Shikshastakam, he says, in the mood of Radharani, If you embrace another gopi than me, but it gives you satisfaction, I am satisfied. I am even ready, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says. He shares the thought of Mahaprabhu in the mood of Radharani. He says, I'm even ready to become her servant. So what do we do when someone has more bhakti than us, that has more realization? We become envious. Why is that possible? That person has higher realization and I'm doing so much service. I abandon everything. There is. The mystery of devotion is great. Who is who, we do not know. Who was what in previous life, we do not know. It is impossible to know. Only Radharani knows. We see even the Nityasiddhas, they don't know who is who sometimes. But Radharani always knows. It is according to the pastimes of Krishna. This is why it is very difficult to understand the Vaishnavas, because the Vaishnavas are not envious. The true Vaishnava is not envious. If a Vaishnava, he sees people taking shelter of another person than himself, he is not envious. It happens. Sometimes even someone can become an acharya and not be pure. This is the nature of this world. We cannot do otherwise. But if they are not pure persons, does that mean we let go of everything? No, because we serve the principle. Krishna says we have to be the servant of the servant. If there is not anybody completely qualified, it's not a problem. We serve the instruction of Krishna, and Krishna will give us everything in due course of time. Anyway, the Vaishnavas are there through their books. Vishwanath is there, Bhaktisiddhanta is there, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is there, Jiva Goswami, Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, Prabhupada, Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada, everyone is there. We can serve the Vaishnavas through their instructions. But we must be a servant. It is important because it is the state of mind of Vrindavan. In Vrindavan, we do not know whatever we want. We won't say to Radharani, I have a plan, I have to go into another country. Or what does a disciple do? Prabhupada showed us, I follow the instructions of my Guru. It is the way to attain success, because in the transcendental world, it works like that. We don't do whatever we want. We do not have desires. We simply abandon to the instructions, surrender to the instructions of our superiors. And all our life is like that, and we are completely satisfied. This is where Vaishnava shows us the example. Prabhupada showed us the example. What did he do? He spent his entire life to satisfy the instructions of his Guru. He let go of everything, all his pleasure, everything, all position in this world, family, everything, friend, money, to satisfy the position of his spiritual master. This is the goal of a disciple. It's rare. It's extremely rare. Disciples like this is extremely rare. Extremely rare. Why? Because they are associates of the Lord. Do not have any material desires. Who doesn't have any material desires? Krishna is understandable also. You know people who don't have any desires in the material world? It's rare. We don't meet so many. It's extremely rare. Most, they're still attached to position. They're glorified even as pure devotees. Mahabhagavat. But there are still some faults in them left. To be completely liberated, pure, is extremely rare. But it is not an offense to say that, because this is the truth. This is why we can be disappointed But what is the problem? It's not a problem. We must continue. It's really important. We must serve, but we always serve the principle of Shri Guru. Because if someone is not completely pure, he can fall down, he can do things that are inconceivable, even for a Vaishnava. But if we serve Guru, Krishna is the supreme Guru. We are never lost, no matter what. Sridhar Maharaj explains that when someone is Guru, there is a principle other than Jivatattva, which is the soul. But also, he incarnates the principle of Guru, but if he commits mistakes, so Krishna can retract himself from him and he can lose his position. But Krishna's position as Guru is never lost. We simply need to take shelter of another person. This is why a true spiritual master, he doesn't bring people to him, but to the principle of Shri Guru. After, sometimes the associates of the Lord, it's a little different, because since they have an eternal identity, their principle is sometimes different. That means they can introduce people to the pastimes of Krishna and Vrindavan. So there can be this principle, not simply of Guru, but of a friend, of a deep complicity between the spiritual master and a disciple. Because the associates of the Lord, they can truly introduce people in the abode of Krishna. It's true. But someone who is not liberated, he does not have access yet to this platform. But that does not mean we cannot have access to it, because Radha and Krishna are in the heart. Vaishnavas are in our heart. Everything is happening in our heart. And if we are sincere, even if the Guru is not completely qualified, we receive help to get the qualification. Anyway, this material world gives us only illusion. Imagine, it's been billions of lives that were doing the same thing. Do you know what it is? Attraction for men and women, and union of people in family life. We continue constantly. Prahlad Maharaj even says that we eat our own vomit. It's something we already did. We do not need to do it again, because it was a failure. No matter what you do, at the time of that, you will be lost. But we cannot stop doing it again. It is explained, it is just like the desire for family life. The Bhagavatam, it says, it's just like a pot with a taste of burned. When you taste it, it always tastes like it's burnt. So we need truly to take out of the pot this smoking fragrance. If you cook with a burnt pot, it always will have that taste. Krishna says that the one who can liberate himself from this attachment, he can only obtain me. Because this lust, it is finally this love of God that is inverted. It's just this love of God that is inverted. When we love someone, it's love of God which is inverted and which is not allowing us to love Krishna. So if we cultivate this, we get away from the devotional service. This is why in our philosophy, we accept to get married, to detach ourselves. It's just like a pact. At the right first moment where we get married, we start detaching ourselves to get ourselves detached completely from matter. This is why the goal of a man is not to make his wife a wife, and the goal of a wife is not to make his husband a man. Otherwise, it is failure. If you have a man body and you're attached to a woman, then you will take a woman body in your next life, vice versa. It's the trap of Maya. All our scriptures, they explain this. Read Prabhupada's books. Prabhupada, he says that from the beginning to the end. Why he says that? Because he explains that unless this thorn is not taken away, we cannot progress. It is not possible. This is why one of the offenses to the holy name is to chant with a bodily conception. And it's not easy to detach ourselves from that. To detach ourselves from that, we need to have a sincere desire to obtain Krishna. And it comes through the deity, because at the beginning, we do not have the purity to attach ourselves to Krishna. It is not possible unless we have cultivated bhakti for many lifetimes. But for common living beings, Krishna comes in the form of the deity. And it is our Krishna who comes. This is why we need to attach ourselves to the deity. If we attach ourselves to the deity, Krishna will take away all our material desires, all our bodily identification. But if we do not attach ourselves to the service of the deity, naturally we're never satisfied. We get bored in this world. Something is lacking. Maya comes to serve us on the platter, everything that is there to lose us. Maya is doing her perfect job. Her job is to test us by keeping us away from Krishna. It is her job. But when we're really ready, even if Maya proposed to us something, Udayan Maharaj, he said something. He spoke to Yashodhara. He said, even if I will give him the whole money in the world, he will not smoke cigarette. He was translating here. This is the nature of a devotee. A devotee does not have any desires. No matter what Maya presents to us, it cannot touch me. I remember one time, Gurudas, Prabhupada disciple, came to see me to the boutique. He was making a business outside. He showed me something. I said, oh, yeah. He was trying to show me, to attract me to the thing that he had. He was doing business. He wanted to captivate me with gold. And I smiled, I laughed, and then I was sad. One of Prabhupada's first disciples, he left my boutique. He wanted to attract me with his gold, and I was laughing and I was thinking, it's not possible. This is a true story. Maybe like over 10 years ago. Everything is miserable in this world. But unless we have seen Krishna, we're obliged to be attracted. We are obliged to be illusioned. That's why sometimes people, they say they have seen Krishna, but they do not see Krishna. When you have seen Krishna, you cannot be illusioned anymore. It's just like Parikshit. Parikshit, he was looking for Krishna everywhere. Because even if you approach something, at some point you say it's not Krishna. And then you leave again. Because it's the nature of this world. It's the nature of the devotee. A devotee cannot do otherwise but to love the truth. It is the nature of Vaishnavas. This is why, for example, there's one person who attacked me a little bit on the internet recently. He was telling me about authentic disciplic succession, and I was telling him, you know, someone can be an acharya and not be a pure devotee. Someone can be asked by another Vaishnava to be an acharya and that may not be a pure devotee. And look at Prabhupada. Prabhupada, he gave different devotees the guru position. Most, they fell down. It was Prabhupada's instruction to make many gurus. Krishna says, the one who saw me, not the one who received the instruction. There was the one who received the authorization to be a guru. Not the one who saw me is qualified. This is the qualification. This one, he can explain who is Krishna. And he can give Krishna. He can bring someone to the transcendental world. But it is rare. It's rare. This is why when Krishna says that in the Bhagavad Gita, it is not a coincidence or Krishna, he knows. He says he knows that if someone did not see him, he can fall down. He can fall down because his desire won't be stronger than what Maya can propose to him. If he saw me, then he can tolerate everything. The attraction of a lady, everything. All the opulences, position, he can tolerate everything. To be completely protected in all circumstances, because his remembrance is on another platform. Even just once having this experience of Krishna, what will he think about at the end of this life, this person who saw Krishna? You think he'll want to have a good house, beautiful children, a beautiful wife? No. All his life he waited patiently to see Krishna again. So he will attain Krishna. But if we did not see Krishna, what will we see? We must cultivate our relationship with Krishna to make Krishna see that it's you who I want. Even though I never saw you, I want you. Krishna will make the arrangements at the time of death. He will come, but it means a sacrifice. And the sacrifice, we cannot say, I'll do like I want. A sacrifice, you receive the instruction of the Guru, like Prabhupada. This is a true sacrifice because it doesn't come from you. It comes from up there. If you do the mission of the Guru, automatically this is a sacrifice. If you do your mission, who will tell you that it's a true sacrifice? How can you say? It's not so simple. To which point it will be a sacrifice? Because what you don't like, you won't do it. And what you like, you'll do it. Otherwise, you have to be a pure devotee. Krishna will tell you, no, it doesn't work like this, you have to do like this. He will tell you, no, it doesn't work, you should do like this. Otherwise, you won't be able to understand. You'll go on your own path. Otherwise, it's not a sacrifice. If there is no ultimate complete sacrifice, you won't obtain Krishna. That's why we need a guru. There are persons, they want the guru 10%. But he cannot advance. There's no sacrifice. We live our sense gratification. We live our small life in our small kingdom. There's no sacrifice. People who have words like this, they're cheaters. They don't understand our philosophy. Krishna says, we must surrender to me completely. This is why, if the Guru is not pure, we will meet problems. What does that mean, pure? It means Krishna can speak to his devotee and explain to him his will. It means there's an interrelationship with the mission of the spiritual master. It's not that the Guru does whatever he wants. Krishna is there. Krishna tells him, do this, do that. Otherwise he can be chastised if he doesn't do good. It's the nature of Krishna. Krishna is the Guru. Everyone is a servant. Radharani is Krishna's servant. Lalita is Krishna's servant. Subal is a servant of Krishna. Sridham also. Nanda Maharaj also. Yashoda Mata. Although they have superior roles, they're there for Krishna. Everyone is there for Krishna. Am Sarva Prabhava. Everything emanates from Krishna. Everything is for him and by him. So we must, how to say, understand, try to understand our situation with the spiritual master. If there is no guru, it is our philosophy. So not everyone likes this philosophy, but what can we do? It is our philosophy. It is Vedic philosophy. This is why a Vaishnava is always accompanied. Always. He always has a protector. This is the nature of a Vaishnava. He doesn't like to be alone. He likes to be protected. Never he will take decisions alone, big decisions alone. He can say, oh, today, what will I eat? Yes, it's not a problem. But big decisions, never he will take a big decision alone. Krishna is always there. Vaishnavas are always there. Because a Vaishnava is a servant. Never he will say, I will do this, I will do that. He will ask for a Vaishnava for superior conception, and then the instruction comes down. And from there he becomes the servant of the servant. He's happy like that. And it's beautiful. What is a temple? A temple, before everything, means to live with the rhythm of the deity. If you come to Mangalarti, you're happy. If you come to the opening of the Guru Puja, you're happy. But we must come with the good, proper state of mind. If you come simply like with a ritual without joy, without understanding anything, it doesn't work. We must need the desire to establish a relationship. We must love them, we must be there for them. Open your heart. Be devotees. It's not complicated. Try to dance. You'll see ecstasy will come immediately. Hit you with your hands. Rupa Goswami says all the sins, they move away when you clap your hands. Why don't you have any faith? We should have the strength to wake up in the morning. We must fight. Maya is powerful. Your bhajan alone, it won't work in your bedroom. You don't have bhakti yet. You do not have relationship with Krishna. Your relationship is happening here. Krishna is here. He makes his pastime here in the temple. This is what you need. Otherwise you cheat yourself. I see devotees, they try on their own to attain spiritual realization, but we must have faith in what our acharyas gave us. The program Prabhupada gave us is perfect. It is His mercy. If you follow, you will progress, you'll go back to Krishna. If you do your own thing, no, it won't work. It's not your own spiritual strength. You will have a good ecstasy from time to time, and the rest you'll break the principles and do anything with your life. There are symptoms. The strength, we receive it by following a guru, not by following our own mood. It's not true. We see Devotees, they do whatever they want. They don't progress. They're full of problems. No taste. They break the principles. It's not normal. It's not normal. We should always be protected. We should always have a connection. If we break the principles, that means there's no connection. Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj, he said that even for a cigarette, we can break the relationship with the Guru. I remember Paramgati Maharaj, one time he said in a class, there are people who say that I had a dream with Krishna, but we see for the rest of their life they do anything. They do so many wrong things. We should follow the principles first. Then it is our philosophy. That's what I was taught. I learned what I heard from others. For example, intoxication, it means we have to go beyond our condition. We have to make austerities. If we break the principles by smoking drugs, we cannot go beyond our condition. We'll always be contaminated by our condition. It's really serious. Regulative principles. It is a science, really. Because if we break the principles, we are always influenced by passion and ignorance. If we follow the regulative principles, we can bring ourselves up to goodness. This is why Prabhupada wanted us to follow the principles. The devotees nowadays, they don't even follow the regulative principles. It's not Prabhupada. They speak about Prabhupada. They love Prabhupada, but they do not follow Prabhupada's instructions. What did Prabhupada say? Who are my disciples? Those who follow my instructions. Not necessarily those who are in the movement, but the ones who follow my instructions. They say they love Prabhupada. They are 70 years old, but they're running after 30 years old lady girls or 25 years old. This is not what Prabhupada taught us. Prabhupada many times in his book, he said at 50 years we should renounce. That's what Prabhupada taught us. It appeared over 10 times in his book. When something appears many times, that means it is important. It is an injunction of the Vedas. At 50 years old, we should detach ourselves. But these people, they love Prabhupada so much, but at 70 years old, 60 years old, they're still attached to ladies. When we have the mercy of the Acharya, we detach ourselves. After, how to say? Everyone receives a particular mercy, but there is at least a sacrifice. Our life is a sacrifice. This is the beauty of our life. And Prabhupada speaks about it. When Brahma had to do austerities at the beginning of creation, he said this is the heart. Without sacrifice, there's no Krishna, there's no realization, we obtain nothing. Our life is a sacrifice. Sridhar Maharaj explains, Mother Yashoda, just to take away a sweating drop on Krishna's face, she's ready to die 1,000,000 times. So we cannot imitate Mother Yashoda, but we can fight. And be fixed. And give our life. This is noble. just like a warrior. Do not be weak no matter what happens. I'll be fixed, like a warrior on a battlefield. Never I will let go. I will keep my position. Prabhupada says, the honor of a disciple is to bear the Guru's instructions on his head. It's rare. But if you do that, you will attain success. Everything will be given to you. All the strength will be given to you. Even if you're tested, it's not a problem. But at some point, the mercy will come. This is what Prabhupada showed us. And this we can all do it with sincerity. But not alone. Alone, we obtain only fruitive activity, the fruits of our karma. This is why we need to serve the Vaishnavas, because the Vaishnavas, they have this qualification, and their engagement in devotional service allows them to do activities connected to devotion. This is why Krishna says, my true worship is the worship of my devotee. The one who thinks is serving me directly is not so dear to me, but the one who serves my devotee is my devotee. Krishna doesn't say that for any coincidence. If you see, Krishna is on the lap of who? Of Mother Yashoda. He will tell you, you have to ask permission to my mother. Krishna will not come without the permission of his devotee. And the problem is that often the devotees, they want Krishna directly without the permission of a Vaishnava. And it doesn't work. It doesn't work. We obtain Krishna by following the teachings of the Acharyas. Here, we follow the sadhana of Srila Prabhupada. We do not follow something invented. In all details, it's what Prabhupada gave us. We chant Prabhupada's songs like in Vrindavan. It means we chant the samsara with Prabhupada, Vibhavadi Shesha, with the deity Nishingadev, Tulasi, obeisances to Vaishnavas, etc. So, we do not invent anything. If we invent anything that will be finished, we're not crazy. We just want to serve. We do not want to invent anything. And this is certain. As soon as people do whatever they want, it's finished. Problems, they start. Their life is difficult. And at the end, what do people do? They run for money. They run for money. But they maybe have 10, 15 years to live, 20 years, 5 years. This is why sacrifice means intelligence. As long as you're to the point that our life is a sacrifice, to that point we obtain that connection with Krishna in our heart. And what we do externally, somehow, is inspired from inside. We remember by Krishna's intelligence, from the intelligence that has been given to us by Krishna, of a relationship with him and his devotee. And from there we can work, there's no problem. But if there's not that, what is the nature of our work? Is it bhakti? It's not so simple. So of course Rupa Goswami said, if you give 50%, it is bhakti. But we can also work with a pure consciousness. We can do all things with a pure consciousness. When we're an established devotee, we do everything for Krishna's pleasure. We do not need anything. Just want to please Krishna no matter where we are. No matter in which situation we are there for him. We are never touched by the situation. We take the example of a lotus, it grows in the water, but still it's not touched by the water. In the same way, if you serve Krishna, through the instruction of Guru, you are protected. It is not a question of place or time, it's a question of consciousness. Vrindavan is a question of consciousness. For example, when you go to Vrindavan, the Brajbasidi tell you, if you get out of Vrindavan, it's finished, there's no Krishna. But this is completely invented, it's not true. Vrindavan is localized in the heart, it's a consciousness. So, we must truly have this notion of sacrifice. Our life must be a sacrifice. If you have that in your heart, Krishna will always be there to help you. Because when you have downs, He will be there. He will help you to go back to the maximum. He becomes like a trainer, like a coach. He will himself coach you. He's the best coach, Krishna. He will inspire you. He will make the arrangements so that you can continue. But if you do not have this help, and also that you let go of the spiritual master, you'll be on your own. And then there's a loss of bhakti. We break the regulative principles. We do not chant all the time. And finally, we try to find a situation that is in accordance with our desires. But that doesn't mean we'll obtain success. That's why we need to make a sacrifice. Even if we are tested by Maya, we have to make sacrifice. But Krishna will protect us. What can a cigarette do? A man or woman, when you're protected. I cannot fall down because Krishna protects me. This is the conviction of a devotee. Someone who sacrificed himself, Krishna will protect him. Krishna explains that I maintain him, I preserve, and everything is have as I preserve him, and I carry what he lacks. This is really, it is Krishna's vow to protect his devotee. This is why a devotee, what does he need? Nothing. Everything he wants, Krishna gives him. He needs nothing. Krishna, everything is too small, I need nothing in this world. It will always be the same thing, over and over. Maya makes us believe that it is new. People think when they see each other that they always known each other. It's just a material illusion. Maya is powerful. It bewitches people. People become attached. It is just an illusion. How many people fell in love? That they wanted to sacrifice everything and today they're not together. These are relationships. They're illusory through the body. This is why when we become disillusioned, we want to establish a true relationship. But it is only possible through devotional service, through the worship of the deity, through the chanting of the holy name. It is possible through the service to the devotees, through the fact of serving the mission. All of this is possible. And even if we have difficulty, even if we are weak, we can always, at any time, make this vow that from now on it is finished. I will not let temptation take me. This weakness to say, oh, it doesn't matter, we can be like this. Don't listen to all those devotees who are fallen finally, who do not follow anything, who tell you, I do not need this, this is fanaticism. They always have the same discourse, they are fanatics, but it's because they are weak and they want to legitimize their weakness. It is not fanaticism, it is the instruction of the acharyas. Otherwise, what's left? Nothing. It is your path. It's not the path of our acharyas. And it is not authentic anymore. The life won't give you the true fruit, your life. And it's true, someone who is not strict, he will find this charming. This is a good life for me. I can continue to break my regulative principles. Otherwise, it's fanaticism. It's not like that. I met so many people like that. At the end, they even mix different paths together. We must truly keep our chanting of the mantras, the regulative principles. Study, be engaged in service. It is important. And gradually, we'll be able to progress. Thank you very much.